Warning: Alan and JJ Johnson are not professional comedians. During this program, you will be exposed to unfiltered dad jokes in their most potent and raw form. Dads telling them to each other. Watching this video may lead to serious physical harm, including facepalm concussions, head-shaking whiplash, and uncontrollable groaning. Proceed at your own risk.
Hey everybody, I'm Alan.
And I'm JJ.
And this is Two Dads and a Joke. We're here to give you a 6-pack of dad jokes and just a shot of parenting advice. JJ, when it comes to advice, it's really important to get it from trustworthy sources, wouldn't you say?
I believe it is, yes.
I mean, we were just talking about how you were getting some untrustworthy advice from someone that you didn't even ask for it.
That's right, I was.
Right? Well, you know who you really shouldn't try to be getting advice from is pigs.
Pigs?
Yeah, you know why they can't be trusted?
No, I have no idea.
They always squeal.
That is true. They do squeal quite a bit. So hey, I've been getting up and I've been going, getting back in my exercise routine. I always like to have a good morning routine. That's just kind of how I start my day off. Some Bible study and exercise. So I've been getting up and going on my run during the morning instead of the evening because it's a lot cooler. We're in Oklahoma, so evening it's like 150, humidity. So I come home and I grab some eggs and I just start, making myself some scrambled eggs. And I started thinking, you know why eggs don't tell jokes?
Why don't eggs tell jokes?
Because they crack themselves up.
Well played, sir. Well played.
I try.
So, folks, that's the level of quality you get on Two Dads and a Joke. We're here with humor. We're both authors. We write middle grade for kids, and so you might find a funny thing or two. I got some dad jokes here in Still Small Voice, the book I just released. JJ, you've got a book coming out here, and your previous one. Tell me what just happened to your previous release.
Yeah, I guess we haven't done an episode since that happened.
We have not.
Iggy and Oz, the Plastic Dinos of Doom, won the Realm Award for Best Middle Grade at the Realmmakers conference this year, which was all done virtual because of COVID. But I was... Did I tell you the story of how I found out?
No. How did you find out that you were a winner?
So, I had a rough week at work, just rough week. And I personally wasn't going to be attending the conference that year. And so, this year, and so I was going to tune in for the awards, but for some reason I had turned off all notifications on social media. I was just kind of needing a detox from social media, and I turned off social media, and I didn't check email, and I forgot the awards was happening that night. And so I'm sitting here in my chair, reading a book that night. It was a Friday evening. I get this text message that says, "Hey, congrats." And I'm like, "For what?" And I texted back and I said, "For what?" And so I go to the messenger because I usually talk to it was Josh Smith, a good friend of ours, who texted me, and I was like, I opened up my phone and it was like blowing up, like all these messages. In fact, you had sent me a message too, right? That
I was like, yes!
And I'm like,
winner!
I'm like, what is going on? And I click on the messages and I'm like, oh my gosh, the awards! And somebody was inviting me to this video chat room where a bunch of them were hanging out. And so I got on the chat room and I finally watched the rest of the awards ceremony. And I went back and watched it later that night, but I totally missed my own moment.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. But they did a good job of reading your story, and I don't know. I was really proud for you. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was exciting, and it was a good uplifting to a rough week that week. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. But that tells you, everybody, the dangers of turning off your social media.
Exactly.
You might miss something important.
You might miss something important.
The next content from Two Dads and a Joke. We are out there curating all kinds of dad jokes, dropping them down so you can find them. We're also finding other people's jokes. So, found a dude the other day, Random Bloke on Twitter. He says his dad joke is, seriously, best present my family ever bought me is a broken drum. You just can't beat it.
I like that one. That's good. That's really good. So hey, we're starting back to school here next week, and the COVID school model. We're doing.
Ooh, you're going to COVID school. All right.
Yeah. So kids will go. Our boys will go to school Monday and Tuesday, and then it'll be all virtual Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And so they're in the A group, and then there's a B group that will go on Thursday and Friday. So I started thinking about school, and I'm getting all these school supplies, and just, everything's just happening so fast, like rocket speed. And I started thinking about, remember my time in school. I wasn't a good student. Were you a good student?
Mm-hmm.
I
kind of was. I was a good student, yeah.
I was horrible. I was a horrible student. I didn't try. I didn't care, growing up. But looking back, I wish I tried, but I was horrible at math. And you know what? I started thinking about my math book back in the day. And my math book looked pretty sad. It was pretty beat up. And you know why my math book looked so sad?
Why did your math book look so sad?
Because of all its problems.
Wow, because of all its problems. You know what's a common problem that happens when you have kids?
What's that?
Your G.I. Joe might lose his Kung Fu action grip.
Oh,
you get that action?
I haven't had that one since I was like 12.
I know, but do you remember that? Like, I know you got boys. Like, have you ever had an action figure kind of melt down on you and be a problem?
Oh, goodness. My boys are into Godzilla right now. King Kong. And you've seen my Kong. My Kong's somewhere. It got stolen. I guess the boys took it. Anyway, he's got a face mask on right now. But they have all these Godzillas, and they just keep breaking.
Right, Kung Fu action grip. And so a typical parent scenario might be to get out the hot glue, right? You hot glue that, and that might fix it. But as you notice, this one, the authentic battle damage was too much, right? Just playing around. This was not sturdy construction for rugged play. Well, I learned a great trick from my mom that I want to pass on to the dads about that. That it's a pro dad tip.
Okay.
What you do when you want to put something back together, like you got, this piece needs to go on here, is you don't just glue it. You get out a candle and a paper clip. And you heat that sucker up until it's red, and then you jam it in where you want it to go on one side, and then you heat it up again and jam it in the other side, and then you glue it. And what it does is it makes a strong bond on the inside. And so I got this G.I. Joe motorcycle that my mom did for me. If you can tell, there's a couple of those in there that have been in there for 30 years.
Wow.
Like, once she fixed it, it stayed fixed. So all I'm saying is, that is a pro tip for dads on how to fix the action figures.
There you go. I'm going to remember that next time Godzilla breaks.
There you go. Pro tip.
Good
candle,
idea.
Paperclip. But, as we go on with good tips and whatnot, I don't know if you knew, I normally wear glasses, have a tough time with these on. And I heard that there's a new author out there. He wrote a book, Bifocals and the Men Who Wear Them. It was super enlightening. Yeah, his name was I See Clearly.
I thought you were being serious, man. I should know.
I see clearly, man.
Oh, now I got that song stuck in my head. I can see clearly now. Never mind. I'm not gonna sing.
No, that's totally cool. So, we like to leave a thought for the day, kind of scripture ideas, something for you to think about. And this week we picked up Romans 12, 12:1. It says, I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. And so, JJ, when you think about that and raising kids, what do you feel being that living sacrifice looks like in life?
Well, I mean, you got to think about where Paul was trying to go with this. At the same time, a living sacrifice, it always go back to Abraham, and going up on the mountain and with his only son at that time, and just having complete faith in God. But I also think about the things of this world at times, because let's face it, sin is very appealing. Sin is very enjoyable for the moment, and I think sometimes being a living sacrifice means doing everything that we can to avoid that, and that is hard, and it takes a group of guys, and this is where I think a lot of churches fail in men's ministry, but it takes a group of guys coming alongside one another, holding each other accountable, because there's a lot of things I've done in my life I don't want my boys to get trapped in, and so I am doing everything I can to be able to do things different. My dad was a great dad, but there were some mistakes that he made that opened me up to the opportunity to choose the sin. And because my dad wasn't very involved in church at that time, and he will admit that. I'm not saying anything my dad and I haven't already talked about face to face, but I want to do better, and I think that's how we all feel. We all want to do better than our parents did. And it's not to say our parents are bad, but for me, that's just one of those things. I want to give up a lot of stuff just to be able to, sinful stuff, I want to avoid it as much as possible, and so that my kids have the opportunity to walk closer with Christ. And I don't know if that makes if I'm making any sense or not, but
sure,
that's kind of where I'm going with it. What do you think?
Well, when you think about it in terms of living sacrifice, I think a lot of it is just showing that sort of sacrificial leadership, right? Yeah. Like it's very clear that as the leader of your house or as the leader of something your kids are in, like I ran Cub Scouts, right? When I ran Cub Scouts, I was first in and last out,
right?
And that was part of it. As the leader of that group, you have to show that it doesn't matter that it's inconvenient for me to wait till everybody's gone. We need to make sure everybody's taken care of, right? And that kind of thing. And in this, it's as much that kind of thing of being that example for your kids. But it's also just choosing not to do stuff that you could do.
Right.
You're an adult. You can do things. You can do whatever you want to a certain extent. Not, Paul would say, do we go on sinning just because we can, that, not from that perspective. But you have the ability to do all kinds of things. And so as a parent, I feel like there's another issue there around your kids' conscience. Right? I mean, in my stories, there's a focus on the kids being sort of righteous and doing the right thing. And they learned that from somewhere, right? And so part of that is not doing things that would cause your kids to stumble. And I think that's where that sacrifice is. And, I mean, I think we both would agree that our wives do a lot to keep us on the right path as far as making those sacrifices, right? I mean, right. Listening to your wife quite often causes you to stop doing something that you would be doing otherwise.
Right.
But did you know that satellites can get married?
Satellites can get married? No, I did not.
Yeah, did you hear about the wedding? These two satellites I heard about. They got married, and unfortunately, the wedding was pretty boring, but the reception was incredible.
Oh man. So, we're starting back to school, and I started thinking we're going to be doing the school drop-off lines and things like that. Do you know what the buffalo said to his son when he dropped him off for school?
What did the buffalo say to his son when he dropped him off for school?
Bye, son.
Oh, that's horrible. Well, Thanks, JJ. And so to the audience, we're going to say bye, audience, because it doesn't sound like bison. All right. Catch you later.
Talk to you later.